Hello again, this is Jeremy Arney, Interim Leader of the Canadian Action Party, and we've had a lot of questions and queries about the use of the Bank of Canada. As you know, that is one of our major pillars or platforms, that we should start using the Bank of Canada again to finance country both federally, provincially and municipally. So people have been asking some questions, valid questions, which I'd like to deal with at the moment. One of them, for instance, this comes from Bill Bowen. Who would boycott us, in your opinion, if we started using the Bank of Canada as our means of financing again? Well, the answer is, why would anybody want to boycott us? And really, nobody would boycott us except the people we want to, which is the IMF and the World Bank. Apart from that, no problem. There would be no boycott. There would be objections, there would be pressures applied, almost certainly, from major corporations. But the banks, but the countries that have their own banks right now, like China, India, Brazil, Korea, are they being boycotted? I don't think so. Are their industries and their people thriving? Well, yes, I would say so. Maybe the Chinese, we don't really know enough about them to know whether they're totally thriving, but I don't think their standard of living is lower than ours, and ours is pretty darn low. So, no. Boycotting? No, and we're strong enough to resist boycotting anyway. The second one was, who are these countries and their people? Well, I've just talked about that. It's the BRIC countries. Can we trade with other countries if we're using the Bank of Canada? Well, of course we can. We can trade with other countries any way we want. We have successfully traded with other countries for generations. And until 2006, we actually had a trade surplus because we traded goods for goods. Now, with all these incredible trade deals that the current administration has concocted, which are not trade deals at all, they're investment deals. Let's not be confused about this. They are investment deals, not trade deals. Our trade deficit is somewhere in the neighborhood of $90 billion. Billion? Million? It doesn't really matter all that much. It's a horrendous turnaround from a surplus to a deficit thanks to a whole bunch of trade deals. They're not trade deals. Let's not be confused about that. Things like the Chinese FIPA, like the Trans-Pacific Partnership, even like CETA, are nothing more than investment deals. And what's really frightening about the Trans-Pacific Partnership is that through that deal, corporations will be allowed, and in fact will, decide what our laws in this country will be. And if we create laws they don't like, they will come and attack us financially. So we will have no choice but to make our laws to correspond with their profit. So trade through using the Bank of Canada? Definitely not. Something about would our military have to be on high alert to ward off countries trying to steal our natural resources? That's a really deep conversation which I'd like to get into on another video, but the answer really is no. Physically, no one can steal our resources. The only way they can do it is by coming in and buying them. And that's a topic for another discussion, which I will get to. Who and how are the infrastructure projects, healthcare, education, defense, and the cost of the government assigned a dollar value? Well, it's how much money you spend on them. That's the dollar value. And there should be no limit on the amount that's spent. So as far as education is concerned, as far as rescuing people from poverty, as far as looking after seniors and veterans, there is no dollar value that can possibly be assigned to that. It's just something we need to do. If we don't have an educated population, we might as well give up right now. If we don't look after our old folks, after those who have been defending our country one way or another, whether we approve of it or not, if we don't look after them who made those sacrifices, then we're not worth it as a nation. We don't have any value in what's going on. So the use of the Bank of Canada has so many positives. Some of these questions are good, but they're looking at the negatives. Let's not be negative, folks. Let's not do that. Let's remember that we can be positive. We can bring about change. But it's up to us, and it's up to you to act. Thank you.